to go. So the first segment here, Abe is gonna take you around the boxing world with the latest and greatest news that's been happening in boxing. All right, Abe, all yours.
Yeah, so I'm going to start off with the Jake Paul Conor McGregor situation. So apparently Jake Paul offered or sent an offer to Conor McGregor of $50 million. He showed up in front of I think it was a Lamborghini, and he had a big cartoon-like check for $50 million and said that he sent it over to Conor, that he needs to go ahead and accept the fight, insulting him and his family, a little borderline there. But then he sent TMZ a screenshot of that actual offer. So looks like it's legit, and that kind of made the Twitter sphere and the YouTube sphere around. Also, Holyfield Tyson. Holyfield was on the Akim Barak show. He was talking about how he wants this Tyson fight, how Tyson looks, and believes that they can make that happen. Lomachenko coming around and saying that dropped a YouTube video saying
Yes.
that the judges were bribed, and the injuries and this and that. So my good friend and editor at NY Fights, Michael Woods, he covered that on a Ring Magazine article. So definitely check that out. They also announced Oscar Valdez versus Miguel Berchelt in February. They announced some other fights, but that one really sticks out. And then as of last night, the really big one that I'm excited about is Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez going up against Juan Francisco Gallo Estrada for that unified crown. And so lot of good stuff this week, Jacob.
Oh, absolutely, man. So, any word on did Conor McGregor reach back out, or how is he taking this as a fluke, or it's just another joke, or it's any word from his camp on the Paul challenge?
To be honest with you, I have not seen anything from Conor McGregor. I know that he is scheduled for a UFC fight, from what he had mentioned, and so but they haven't really promoted it or anything like that. And so I don't know if this is something that happened before or something happened after. Maybe they delayed the UFC fight. Really haven't heard anything. If I'm Conor McGregor, first I want to make sure that the funds are real and that there's an escrow account that reflects, whatever deposit or money that, showing that it's available. And also, what the event entitles. It's a little more than just, hey, I'm sending you 50 million. If you're sending me 50 million, but the event's going to do 100, 150 million, and I'm the biggest name, then I'm probably going to want, percentages and everything else. So I'm sure that they're going to come to the negotiating table, right after the holidays and figure all that out.
Yeah, and the Holyfield and Mike Tyson thing. This I'm a little scared about that because I don't think this is going to be as exhibition-y, for lack of better terms, as it was with the Roy Jones Jr. I think these two have history. I think there's a little bad blood there. Does this give you a real fight feel, or you still think it's an exhibition type deal going forward?
It's still an exhibition. I think maybe Holyfield might take it a little more serious than Tyson would, or maybe vice versa. Some of those old feelings might drum up during the fight. So all those angles will be used to market this fight if it happens. It looks like originally it didn't because Holyfield wanted like $25 million, it was reported, or $23 million. So that didn't happen. But maybe now he is, coming down to reality and knowing, what he can get and what the upside is. And maybe that happens next.
I'm a little critical of all these old timers coming out. It's almost as if Tyson didn't do it, then nobody else was going to do it. And Tyson did it, and it almost looks like everybody wants to try to capitalize, one more paycheck out of this, or because going back to the reason why Tyson did it, he did it mostly because he got in the gym, he felt good, the calling was back. Not so much about the money because he doesn't need the money because of his other ventures. So, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I don't know. I know not too long ago he still owed money to the IRS, so I don't know if that's the case or not. He was still on that tax bill that he needed to pay off, which was why he was doing all those stand-ups. I don't know if you remember a few years
Yeah.
back, he was doing all the stand-ups, and a lot of those checks were going straight to the government. So I don't know if it's something that he still owes money in, but he also knows what his brand means to pop culture from
Absolutely.
the time that he was the man to now, and it's still relevant. Look, he was on Shark Week and it did record numbers. So he knows what he has there. I don't think it's so much of a I want to get this last paycheck, more so than he wants to take advantage of the fact that he's still a name that can sell.
Absolutely. Yeah. And and yeah, that Lomachenko, going down the line of all the news that you've hit, the Lomachenko thing took me aback. I didn't think. I was a little critical on Twitter. I think you saw some of my tweets, but man, you break your silence to come with that with no proof or no sound evidence of any corruption or any bribery going on. What do you think is going on in the mind of Lomachenko?
I think his ego is bruised, to be honest with you. Taking a loss like that, after, both of them were talking trash, but, he was, basically saying that he was going to be looking at his dad or talking to his dad after the fight and telling him how much he beat up his son. And that didn't happen. And so, I think it's more so about the ego being bruised than anything else.
Yeah, man. That I think that hits it, man. But to throw out allegations like that kind of waters down. Number one, it waters down who you are because he's in my opinion he still fought a good fight. He fought a
Absolutely.
competitive fight. He turned it on late in the end. It took away number one from who you are as a champion. It took away from the fight itself, and it definitely took away from Teofimo's accomplishment. Uh, and that's sad coming from a guy like Lomachenko. I expect it would be better for him. So, but all right. So, man, that's what. Yeah, a lot happens this week. A lot of headlines, and we're gonna wrap up this segment with what do you think is gonna happen with Chocolatito moving forward, man?
So I think that, man, I'm so excited because there's conversation of them trying to have it at the War Grounds, formerly known as the StubHub, now the Dignity Sports and Health Park. And that's right up the street from me, maybe about an hour or so. So if there's an opportunity for me to maybe attend that super fight, which I consider the super fight, then I'm gonna try to do that. If California doesn't, go to a less restrictive situation, then they'll probably have it in Texas, which I can see that happening as well. Either way, whether it's California, whether it's Texas, whether it's Mexico, it's going to be well received. It's going to be a hot ticket. It's going to have that buzz. Unfortunately, it won't have that commercial buzz, but it will have that big fight buzz amongst the Latin American community and just Latin community period. And
Absolutely.
so it's going to be fun to watch. I'm excited. If he wins that fight, oh man, I'm staring at that Tanaka Ioka fight on December 31st. And if Chocolatito fights, we're talking about a mega fight in Japan at the Tokyo Dome between Chocolatito and the winner of that fight. Maybe even December 31st of next year for their New Year's Eve celebration, which is one of their biggest holidays of the year. So, man, I'm so excited.
Oh, I'm excited too. And listen, that like you said, it's gonna be nothing but fireworks to wrap up the new year if that does happen.